जी।
श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। कनिक्रदज्जंशं प्रब्रुवाण इयरतिवाच मरिते सुमङ्गलश्च शकुने भवासि मातवा काचिदभिभा विश्व्या विदत मातवाश्येन उद्वधीन्मासु पर्णो मातवा विदधिषु मान् वीरो अस्ता पित्र्यामनुप्रदिशङ्कनिक्रदत्सु मङ्गलो भद्रवादीव देहा अवक्रन्ददक्षिणतो गृहाणां सुमङ्गलो भद्रवादीश कुन्ते मानस्तेन ईशतमाघशं सो बृहद्वदेम विदथे सुवीराः सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Namaskar. A very good afternoon to all of you, and welcome to this information session from the IKS division, where we are going to announce 3 new initiatives for this financial year, 2022. And I would like to invite our respected Professor Anil Sahasrabuddheji, AICT Chairman, to give a few opening remarks. Namaste, sir, please. And he needs no introduction, so I'll just straight away get into asking him for making some introductory remarks. Namaste, sir, please.
Namaste. सब लोगों को मेरा प्रणाम. I'm very delighted and happy to be here today on this particular occasion. We have the full team of IKS, Indian Knowledge System, Bharatiya Gyan Parampara, led by Dr. Ganti Murthy, Dr. Anuradha Chaudhary, and we have Shreyas Kurhekar, Anurag Deshpande, and Dr. Sanjeev Panchal. All of them passionately driving this whole initiative of IKS from AICT, which is a division of Ministry of Education established in AICT last year. In a short span of about a year or so, a lot of achievements have been made in terms of creating a portal for Indian knowledge systems, where those who are enthusiasts about Indian knowledge system, those who have worked in that domain, ये सभी लोगों के लिए ये प्लेटफॉर्म एक जोड़ने का, सहायता करने का बहुत बड़ा मौका देने वाला प्लेटफॉर्म है. मेरे ख्याल से इसमें अभी हमारे पास 1000 के ऊपर ऐसे भारत देश भर के व्यक्ति जुड़े हुए हैं जिन्होंने भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा में कुछ न कुछ काम पहले ही किया हुआ है या अभी रुचि है और अभी करने वाले हैं, और अलग अलग लोगों को कुछ न कुछ प्रेरणा देते हुए आगे काम करने के लिए उनकी इच्छा है. और इसलिए इसका रिवैम्प हमने किया है और नए पोर्टल जो बनाया है iksindia.org, उसको भी बाद में आपको देखने का मौका मिलेगा, और उसमें कैसे आप जुड़ सकते हो उसमें आप सभी लोगों को मेरी न्योता है कि आप वहां जुड़ जाए. और आज का जो प्रोग्राम है ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है. पिछले दिनों में हमने कई वेबिनार्स किए, करीब 30-40 के ऊपर वेबिनार किए, जिसके जरिए Indian knowledge system and its entire width, gamut of that is covered in those seminars and webinars. Very eminent people who had done deep study in those various aspects, be it in terms of philosophy, political science, economics, be it engineering, be it mathematics, be it science, be it astronomy, be it Ayurveda, be it yoga, be it meditation. All of these subjects which India is proud of having produced invaluable knowledge source for not just few hundreds of years, but thousands of years. All of that in a nutshell, it has been given in the form of webinars. These webinars are already available on the YouTube. They will all be available also on our AICT's IKS portal. And anyone who missed those webinars can go back onto a subject of their interest and find out what all has been achieved by India in the ancient past. Now, the next program, which now we are going to launch, is essentially 3 new initiatives. In fact, these are absolutely not new. We have been doing those activities, but for the current year, they are new. For example, we had invited project proposals for research. We received more than 100 odd projects. They are being evaluated. Many people will have this in their minds that what happened to those proposals. They have been absolutely scrutinized in what we call in the form of research reviews, which we call peer review by experts. Not 1, 2, but 3 of them for each proposal. And only those proposals who stand the scrutiny of these committees will get announced. And that day is not far. Maybe within a week or so, we will have a large number of research projects which will be announced, where there will be funding provided and they can continue the research. But we have announced this second competitive research proposal program for the same current year itself. And we have a very tight schedule of starting the progress right now in January. But before March, we want to select projects and then also fund them as well. So there's a challenging task which IKS centers. You're all aware that many IITs have started setting up centers of excellence in India. With IIT Kharagpur, some IITs formally established as a center, but they are doing it. Some NITs sector, field university, seen already some centers of Indian analysis. How to give impetus to that and support for this proposal.
Anilji, we are not able to hear you clearly, please. Your voice is breaking in the middle.
IKS Center is also being established, which is a second different kind of an activity or initiative which has been started off. The third part, which is more interesting, is the internship proposal. We have a huge number of students who in their schools, high schools, colleges, who are studying, they listen to few webinars here and there, get interested in Indian knowledge system. Some of their families will have some people who are aware of this, but some of them would have heard some interesting anecdotes, stories, and they get interested in Indian knowledge system. But there is no formal education which is existing today in our colleges and universities. The attempt of the Indian knowledge system would be also to create large number of courses which can be offered as courses as electives. Students may be in arts, commerce, science, engineering, medicine, yoga, whatever course they are pursuing. If their interest is in Bharatiya Jnana Parampara, there should be a course which they should be able to take. And if the faculty is not there in their college, doesn't matter. We have our Swayam portal, which is a massive online open course portal created by the government, which has already more than 5,000-6,000 courses. We will add courses in Indian knowledge systems, and students from any college can take this course also for credit, both for audit and learning as well as for credit transfer. All these possibilities are there. But as on today, we don't have that much depth of courses which are there on the portal, and therefore, if a student is interested in some area, how can we support such students in their thirst for understanding of the Indian knowledge system? What we are trying to do is we create this opportunity through internships. A student can apply for internships. They have summer vacation of 2 months, sometimes 2.5 months, winter break of about a month. And if such students who are having this vacation, instead of spending their time in playing some cricket or football, also would like to study about Indian knowledge system and would like to learn more about it, we have a plethora of experts in different domains. And if you mention that you want to understand ancient science, we will connect you with experts in that domain. If you are interested in engineering, maybe civil engineering, water resources, agriculture engineering, we will connect you to the right people. If you're interested in mathematics and understanding ancient mathematics and its contributions, there are experts in mathematics, and same way in sociology, psychology, economics, political science. You name a subject, you name an art form. We have 64 art forms. There are great artists in each area, and we will connect you to the choice of your field of interest, to the right expert, and you can undergo internship. And this is going to be an internship with some kind of a stipend also associated. So you will earn a little, and along with that, you will learn something. I think this is absolutely fabulous opportunity that is coming your way. So all these three initiatives which are being launched today, Dr. Ganti Murthy and Dr. Anuradha, who have toiled hard along with three other research associates associated, both in terms of the work that is done creating the portal. I have to mention here Chandrasekhar Buddha, who has created this IKS portal, and which is dynamic. Every day you will find some change onto that portal, and people who are interested in this field will get feasts out of that. It is like feast for your thoughts. And with these initiatives which are being launched today, I congratulate the entire team and welcome all of you on board for creating interest in Indian knowledge systems. Learn, make it relevant. See, one of the appeals which often I make is, it is not only ancient, it is as modern as is the modern science and technology. How we relate it to the present times, how we conduct research in those domains for the benefit of the mankind today also and tomorrow also, future. That is what these research proposals are looking for. So with these few words, I once again thank the team. Congratulations. Let us move ahead.
Thank you, sir. So thank you so much for those encouraging words, and we will definitely take this thing forward and even put in more effort than what we have been putting. And as this thing says, Upanishad Veda says, Charayuveti, will move forward. Thank you, sir. And I would like to now introduce my basically our IKS team here, and my name is Ganti Surinarayan Murthy. I'm the national coordinator for the Indian Knowledge Systems Division, and I'm also a professor at IIT Indore in Biosystems and Biomedical Engineering Department here. And I would now introduce Dr. Anuradha Chaudhary ji, who is a coordinator for the Indian Knowledge Systems Division, and she is an assistant professor in IIT Kharagpur, and also is associated with a wide variety of international courses that he's been taking, teaching, and an excellent teacher and an excellent practical teacher who actually teaches and practices what she preaches. So Dr. Anuradha Chaudhary ji. And then Dr. Sanjeev Panchal, who is basically he's our research fellow in our division, and he has got a background of traditional knowledge education in Gurukulams and also a PhD in computational linguistics from University of Hyderabad. So that is Dr. Sanjeev Panchal. And Shreyas Kurekarji, he is a Dashagrantha and also a gold medalist in MA Literature, English Literature, and has been a faculty member, assistant professor teaching English Literature to students, and also simultaneously teaching Rigveda to students in a Veda Patashala. That is our Sri Shreyas Kurekarji. And then we have Shri Anurag Deshpande, who has got an MTech in VLSI design and also MA in Vedas. So this is the kind of very versatile team that we have here at IKS Division, who have expertise in both the traditional knowledge systems and also the modern science and technologies. So with that, this is our team that is behind a lot of the initiatives that you are seeing here today. This is the hard work of all of the members of my team here. And with that, I would like to start off with what you're all anticipating, the three initiatives that we are going to launch. So are my slides visible? Excellent. So So this is essentially going to be an information session on the initiatives of the Indian Knowledge Systems division that we are taking forward. And what is Indian Knowledge Systems? Many of you may be wondering, so I wanted to just give you a brief background about it, that this is the rich heritage and eternal knowledge that is created and accumulated by Indians over several millennia in the Indian subcontinent. And essentially you can find that in the knowledge repository, systematized knowledge in terms of manuscripts, shastras, and also the traditional knowledge, especially in the tribal communities through our folk songs, stories, arts, handicrafts, traditional skills and oral traditions. And why should we study IKS? The questions that raise are, is there an Indian way? Is it worth studying? Is it relevant today? Why is it important to you? What is the connection of IKS to India's prosperity? And as Mahakavi Kalidasa says, not everything that is old is good, not everything that is new is bad. We need to really evaluate, as Professor Sahasrabudhe was saying just a minute ago, that we have to evaluate everything based on its own merits and then take what is relevant and then move forward. So with that, it is with that kind of a attitude that this IKS division is functioning, especially when we look into what we call as scientific progress. We need to really think about what is science. If you look at it, there are two aspects to it: scientific method and scientific principles. So it is in the scientific principles that we have a lot of, which is subjective, that you get a lot of the civilizational thought into it, and that is where Indian knowledge systems has a lot to contribute. Whereas the scientific method is something that is updated on a continuous basis, because that is essentially based on the technology of that era, whereas the scientific principles reflect the thought processes. And here we need to be very cautious about what is science versus pseudoscience. And the PEL model of science, where we talk about presupposition, evidence, and logic, is essentially what the science as we know about today is. And here, the Indian knowledge systems can really bring very new perspectives in terms of presupposition, essentially your principles, which are subjective, and also the logic, which is an objective thing, and connect it with the evidence. And just to give you one small example, if you take the human body, so if you look at it, the allopathy looks at it as a system of different digestive systems, heart, lungs, and things like that. Whereas if you talk about Ayurveda, it talks about it in terms of the Vata, Kapha, Pitta, and it takes a systemic approach. See, so these are the two ways of looking at the same human body. For example, here you are looking at the human body. The principles on which the Ayurveda is based are different from the principles of allopathy. But then if you look at the classification of food, for example, again, here you can classify it based on different things. Like you can classify based on whether it is proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, and minerals, or you can classify based on the rasas, virya, vipaka, as Ayurveda does it. But then if you look at a bhasma, for example, which is a type of a nanoparticle type medicine that is used in Ayurveda, you can use the traditional Ayurvedic methods that are described in Ayurveda traditions, which are like the Varna, Nishchandratvam, Varitara. These are all the different methods that Ayurveda talks about. But then you can also use the scientific methods like SEM, TEM, and things like that. So regardless of what method you are using to study this is fine. I mean, that is the scientific method, which is objective. But then when you go back to this type of principles of looking at it is what is unique about the IKS systems. So what we are talking about is using this unique way that of looking at different things that the IKS Indian knowledge systems can bring to the table, integrating that with all the scientific methods to analyze things. So with that, essentially, we need to really take that, brings out the holistic approach that we talk about. And why do we really need to think about and invest in IKS? There is really a genuine paucity, a deficit in the scholarship in this area, which leads to propagation of myths and unscientific claims. Therefore, we need to really do proper research to understand the scientific and technological heritage of India. And also the new NEP, National Education Policy, places great emphasis on this multidisciplinary, multilinguistic learning. So really, that is the vision in which the IKS division is working, to promote interdisciplinary research on all aspects of Indian knowledge systems and to preserve and disseminate Indian knowledge systems, especially for further innovative research and societal applications. And it is with those ideas that we are announcing these three initiatives: the internship proposal program, competitive research proposals, and then the IKS center proposals program. I'll go into each of these proposals, and you can go to our website, iksindia.org. There you will find all the information about all these programs, including how to submit
what are the brochures. There are actually detailed guidelines that are posted on that website. You can take a look at it and you can see how those basically things are formulated, when to apply and things like that. But I will go over those initiatives for you very briefly. So let us start off with the IKS Center proposal program. So if you look at IKS, you really have to think about the institutions, you need to think about individual researchers, and you need to think about the next generation of scholars, essentially our students. So these three initiatives are geared to basically meet the needs of all three. So the first initiative, the IKS Center proposal, meets the needs of establishing new institutions and encouraging the IKS at an institutional level. So what is this basically proposal about? The IKS Centers program is designed to encourage and fund the establishment of centers across the country to catalyze original research, education, and dissemination of the knowledge. So we are really interested in original research, education, and dissemination. So these are the three important legs on which these IKS centers should be standing. And in terms of the dates to remember, the proposals for this program are due by February 5th of this year, and awards will be announced by end of February. And funding will be available by middle of March. That is what we are expecting. And then a year later, that is about March 1st of next year, the progress report will be due, which will be evaluated by a panel of experts who will review the project and submit the review of the project by end of March 2023. And then based on that evaluation, the next year of funding will be released and final report will be due by 2024. So essentially, this is a 2-year program. And then who are eligible? Essentially, any faculty member in any government recognized educational institution, whether that is public or private, are eligible to apply. Because we said research, education, and dissemination are three important aspects for these things. Only educational institutions, whether they are private or public, anyone are eligible to apply for this. And we are going to fund them at a level of 20 to 40 lakhs per center, distributed over 2 years. The total funding will be between 20 to 40 lakhs, depending on what the budget is for the proposal that is submitted. It will be distributed over 2 years. And what we are going to fund is manpower, supplies, equipment, travel, and a little bit of contingency. And what are the focus areas? So these IKS centers, we have decided that one of the things that we have realized that if there is no focus, then there will be, you can, because IKS is so broad that without focus, you cannot really succeed. So what we have done is we have listed all the different focus areas. So these are the 20 focus areas that you will see. I'll not go through each of them, just to give you for some of the interesting ones. We are very interested in mensuration in IKS. For example, how did the ancient India measure temperature? How did they measure time? How did they measure lengths? Those are all very important things that we want to understand. And how the sustainable agriculture was practiced, or food preservation methods were practiced. Or what was the IKS approach for biodiversity and ecological protection? How did they build ships? What were the maritime traditions? What were the navigation things? What is the chemistry of the dyes, pigments, and chemicals that were used in all the toys, fabrics? How did they make them? What was the chemistry of that? And what are the basically the different shastras, for example, Nyaya, Vyakarana, Krishi, Shilpa, how did they really do those things? So these are all the different focus areas that a IKS center can take up. What we would require them is that we ask that each center proposal focus on 2 to maximum 4 thematic areas. Out of these 20 areas, we request you to take anywhere between 2 to 4 focus areas and focus on them. And each institution can only submit one proposal. Based on that, you focus on research that will lead to practical solutions or products or solving current societal problems. These are the things that we are really interested in. Again, as Professor Sahasrabudhe was saying, you're not interested in simply what was. We are interested in what will be and what can be and what is. What can be, that possibility is what we are really excited about. And because these centers need to be training our next generation of students and scholars, involving students, younger faculty, with an aim to train them and nurture this next generation of scholars, is something that we highly encourage from the IKS division. These are the things that we expect from all the IKS centers. And how will these proposals be reviewed? Again, we are following a very, very transparent and rigorous and high standards of the peer review. And this will be a blind peer review that we'll be doing. There will be at least three reviewers who will be doing the peer review of these things. And these are the review criteria that they will be looking at. So we are giving you the review criteria upfront so that you know what we are looking for, and you can basically make your center something that will focus on these things. For example, is this IKS Center's mission focusing on the themes that are relevant to IKS division, those 20 themes? Are the plans and goals clearly stated and understandable? If the goals are not clear, then it is unlikely that anything will be achieved. So we want you to have clear goals, focus on, make sure that you can achieve and have a plan to achieve that. And have a clear plan for research, have a clear plan for education, mentoring plan for students and younger faculty, communicate these results to appropriate audiences, and make sure that the budget is reasonable, and also have somebody who is PI in the team should have some kind of experience and competence to actually do this work that they are proposing. These are the kind of review criteria that we'll be using for the IKS centers. And then, so these are essentially, this is an overview of the IKS Center proposal program. Now, the second round of research proposal program that we are asking for is outcome-based research proposal program, where our goal is to make some catalytic grants. So this is the second initiative that will encourage original, serious, and deep scholarly research into the Indian knowledge systems, and we want to rejuvenate the IKS research in India. What we see right now is that our Indian knowledge systems is like a library. There is a knowledge repository that is there. Everybody goes, studies, and comes back. But what we want to make that is we want to bring that to laboratory. So from library, we want to bring it to the laboratory so that there is new things that are done. So that is why we want to, what we mean by regeneration of IKS research in India. And the proposals for this are due by February 10th. And awards will be again be announced by end of February. And funding will be available by middle of March. Similar to the IKS centers, there will be a progress report due at the end of first year, which will be reviewed by an expert panel, external expert panel, and there will be a final report due by 2024. These are also 2-year programs. And then the funding levels in this one will be who are eligible, any faculty members or any scientists in any government recognized educational institution, whether they are private or public, any government funded labs, or NGOs, trusts, or foundations are eligible to apply. In case of NGOs, trusts, or foundations, they must be solely be working in research and education related to Indian knowledge systems. So this cannot be a side thing for them. This has to be their only focus and only thing that they are working on. Any NGO, trust, or foundation that does this kind of a thing is eligible for this grant. Again, because our funds are limited, we want to make sure that we give it to those people who actually are working in this area only and focusing on this. Again, I'm repeating this word that we want focus, focus, and focus, because that is extremely important in a very broad-based knowledge system, Indian knowledge. So that is why these are the eligibility criteria. And the funding level will be at 20 lakhs per proposal, and it will be distributed over 2 years. We'll supply basically manpower, supplies, equipment, and travel will be funded through this one. And what are the focus areas? Again, we decided that one of the things, again, because IKS is so broad, we will focus on these 6 focus areas in this round of proposals. Next round of proposal, we'll choose 6 different areas and then fund them there. Because what we are hoping is, in each of these, we want to fund somewhere around 4 to 6 proposals, let's say. Then that will create that cohort who will be able to do that research and talk to each other, and there'll be much more impact. So the first area that we are targeting this year is mathematics and astronomy. Second area is metallurgy and material science and technologies. Chemical science and technology is the third focus area. Health, wellness, and consciousness studies. Consciousness studies is becoming a big thing in the West. And there, India's contributions, we are not even looking at it. We should really look into that. So that is why this is a big focus area for us. And also, we were, if you look at that Andes Madison report, we were about 25% of the world GDP for 1.5 millennia. And a country that basically contributed 1/4 of the world's GDP for 1.5 millennia must have some kind of extremely good economic policy, thought, foreign policies, political systems on how to deal with these things. So how did we do that? How did we conduct our foreign trade and policy? How did we really basically look into those political systems? These are our focus area, again, to understand our economic and foreign policy and political heritage. And then finally, arts and culture. These are very important dimensions of human living. We just don't live for technology. We also live for the other things. So the arts and culture also the 6th focus area for our research program. So these are the focus areas in which we'll be funding. So A proposal, a PI, somebody can be involved in it a maximum of 2 proposals, either as a PI or a co-PI. Again, we are restricting that because we understand that somebody can again needs to focus and prioritize their writing the proposal. So we are saying that maximum 2 proposals can be submitted by a person as a PI or a co-PI. And focus for a proposal must be on one single thematic area only. Out of those 6, you must pick one area and please write a proposal that is original, innovative, and leads to solutions to some kind of societal problems or products or things like that. So something it should be relevant to today's society. These are what we are expecting from these research proposals. And then what are the review criteria? Again, the idea is that research plan and goals should be clearly be stated. This project should be relevant to IKS division's focus areas, and it should address a significant problem and, or with potential. And the proposed research should be original, innovative, and new. Will this study be useful? Will this make a difference? What are the environmental, economic, and social benefits of this research? Is another review criteria that we'll be using. Again, does this proposed budget seem appropriate, and does the team have the necessary competence? Are the other 2 criteria that we will be using for our this proposal research proposal program. And so that was our second review initiative. The third initiative is the IKS internship program. And what are we? Again, this is designed for our younger scholars, students. So this is designed to encourage and enthuse youth to take up deeper study of various topics. The focus is to create opportunities for students so that you can be involved in research anytime during the year or during summer breaks. So this is the first of those initiatives. There will be another initiative coming in the later part of the year during the summer break. So this initiative, because it is a very short time, the proposals are due by 28th January. The awards will be announced 3 days later on 31st, and essentially your internship will start on February 1st, and first report, progress report, will be due by 28th February, and final report will be due by 31st of March. So essentially it is a 2-month program, and who are eligible? Any student who is studying in traditional or regular academic institution. Doesn't matter whether you are a student in a Veda Pathashala, Gurukula, or a IIT or a ITI, or you're doing a diploma or whatever. Any student who is interested in IKS is eligible to participate. Students must be between 18 to 30 years of age because we are really targeting that demographic. And again, bank account, because we need you to, if you need to receive a fellowship, you need to have a bank account. And each internship will be awarded a stipend of about 10,000 rupees per month for 2 months, plus another 5,000 rupees total for travel and other miscellaneous expenses, for a maximum of 25,000 rupees per 2 months. This is as per the existing AICTE norms. We'll be following them to the dot. And at the end of this successful completion of the internship program, there will be a certificate that will also be given by the IKS division. So again, for this one, these are the 20 focus areas, just what you saw earlier. These are the same 20 focus areas that you can choose from, and there are experts that we have listed on our website. You can choose them and indicate your priority, as Professor Sahasrabudhe was saying, so that we will allocate those you to work with those experts. And then what do we expect from interns? We expect that you will work on some short research projects, activities, workshops, as suggested by IKS division in consultation with the experts. Primarily, we are relying on the experts to give you work, and then so that you can work with them in an area that interests you. How will the selection process work? You need to choose an expert you would like to work with. We have a list of experts that we have listed on the IKS website. Either you can do that, or if you know some expert, you can list them as well. We will try to contact them and see. And you have to write a 250-word abstract. So essentially, this is a half-page abstract of what you want to do in this IKS area. Based on these things, once you submit your application on the IKS India website before the deadline, the deadlines are strict. There will be no extensions. So please do stick to the deadlines. So once you submit your application along with that 250-word abstract, we'll be making a selection based on those things. And then trying to match the interests of experts and applications and our ability to fund. After that, we will intimate you about the selection, and then it will go on from there. And you'll be able to start your internship. So these are the 3 initiatives that I wanted to tell you all. And you can contact our team. you can email us at coiks@aict-india.org. That is the email that we all look at. Please do send that all the queries there. And if you want to reach me for any reason, my email address is also listed there, nciks@aict-india.org, or Dr. Anuradha Chaudhary ji, coiks@aict-india.org. With that, dhanyavadaha. Thank you so much, and we'll open for questions if you have any. So I know there are many people joining us from YouTube online. So please type your questions there, and our team is looking at those questions and they will pass on them to us and we'll be answering them as you ask.
I think we need to enable chat.
Okay. Okay, so I'll stop sharing then.
No, I think on YouTube, chat needs to be enabled.
It is enabled.
Okay.
It is enabled.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
There is a question here that whether the work that students do under internship will carry credits.
Oh, no, there will be no credits for that.
No.
We'll give you a certificate.
No. I would like to answer that query. That's why.
Please, sir. Please, sir. Please.
As far as IKS is concerned, we will certainly give you a certificate that you have completed 2 months of internship under a particular expert for the duration in the subject matter in which you have taken that internship. But it is up to the university or the college from where you belong to give credits to that part of the work that you have done. So we are not stopping universities and colleges to give credit, but we cannot enforce that you must give credit for the work that is done by the students during this internship. Because our normal internship also we are giving credits. So each university, depending on their philosophy, their senate or academic council decides how many credits are to be given for 2 months of internship or 1 full semester of internship. That if they want to extend it to those who are working in Indian knowledge systems also, they are most welcome, and many universities are trying to do that. So I think it is not, there is also not a right answer, but it will be given also is not the right answer. It is a choice of the university to give credits for the work that the students do during internship.
Sir, there is a question. What is the basic criteria to become eligible for IKS Center?
So any government or private educational institution is eligible, the government recognized.
No. What they probably mean is they are eligible, but what are the criteria? Something like, do you have some faculty who are keen in working on IKS? Are there any courses being run by you in the IKS? Some criteria which will really be required for selecting an institution. They are all eligible. From out of eligible ones, who are going to be selected? What are the criteria for selection is what is being asked.
So basically if you look into the review criteria, one of the things that we mention is that the PI and the team should have some prior experience in the IKS area. So that essentially is something that we require. And again, because funding is limited, so we would like to encourage you to do that. If there is no prior experience, one of the things that we would strongly suggest is ask your students and work with us to have some interns who can work and generate some preliminary data. And in the next few rounds, we are going to announce these IKS centers more IKS centers. Then you can really become eligible then at that point. Right? You can do some preliminary work and do that. Have a track record in that sense. Are there any other questions that are coming up?
Sir, one more question has come that like performing arts and so on, non-educational institutions can also apply to the these particular activities, something like this.
Oh, they can apply for the research proposals if that is their sole activity. Working in the IKS area is their sole activity. But IKS centers, only education institutions are eligible. A NGO or a trust or a foundation can apply for research proposals if that is their sole focus. Yes. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, seems like there are not too many questions. So maybe we can, I guess, talk about few things about what are the possible things that you can do in your internships, right? So that would be something of a, while we wait for any questions to come up, let us talk about those. What are possible internships? Let's say you are an engineering student working in civil engineering, let's say. So one of the things that you could probably look at is, there are these old forts that we see, right? And they're very strong, and they're made, there is a kind of a mortar that is used to join the big rocks that are made of these walls, that make these walls. And you could probably look into the composition of that. How did they make that? That could be a good internship program. Why is that important? Because if you look at it, we talk about the climate change, which is currently a big existential problem. And one of the big things there is that it is all related to the CO2 emissions that we talk about. And perhaps, and if you look at where the CO2 comes from, of course, it comes from burning fossil fuels. One of the other contributing factors, big contributing factors, is the cement manufacturing process. Cement manufacturing process emits a lot of CO2 because, again, it requires a lot of energy too, because you have to heat the clunkers and heat all the rocks, and then you have to make the clinkers, which is used to make the cement. So now you have that alternative, which is very energy intensive, emits a lot of CO2. On the other hand, you have this other alternative that was used earlier, even centuries ago, which was as strong as cement was, used biological materials like egg white, used jaggery, lime, without any high temperature processes, but was as much stronger. So it is environmentally friendly, bio alternative to the cement that we have. But how do they make that? What are the properties of that? How can we manufacture it in a large scale? That could be a small internship program that you can do. But just to give you an example in terms of if you're a civil engineering student, if you're a student studying in mechanical engineering or metallurgy, you can look into how the wood steel was made and how those anti-rust properties of different iron was basically, how did they achieve that? We talk about the iron pillar. How did they achieve that rustless iron thing? There have been a lot of studies, but this could be one of your internship programs. And if you look at another internship program, you can look at, normally we use a lot of these pesticides and herbicides, especially pesticides, to treat a lot of our agricultural crops. And the fumigation methods are used to treat a lot of the pests. And these are very dangerous chemicals that cause problems to the farmers who apply them. It causes health issues in the consumers who eat these products. But there are alternatives that are described in some of the Ayurveda, the agricultural texts of India, like Vrukshar Veda and Krishi Parashara, in those things, where they take white mustard seeds and use them to fumigate. And that is used to kill the pests and all in the plants. So can that be an alternative? This could be an internship project for you to study it in 2 months. So again, there are many artists who are perhaps only family that is working in that particular art in India. Maybe you can go and work with them to essentially document what is that art about. Make sure that write about the history of that art, describe it, and then another person could probably go and do some kind of create an artwork, perhaps for the 75th year of independence, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav thing, create with that theme and then do that. That could be an internship as well. So maybe you could, if you are learning something in a traditional Gurukula, you can learn something like that you would have not learned normally, and new learning, practice a different technique, or learn a new area that is not your part of your curriculum. For example, let's say what used to take 6 months, you may want to learn it in 4 months or 2 months, and you can learn Avadhana Kala, for example. That is another area that you can think about. Or you can learn how to read Brahmi or Kharoshti or Grantha Lipi, so that you can read the epigraphies, all the Shila Shastranams in temples. So that is another way of internship. You can work with, if you are if you're somebody with a computer science background, you can say, okay, how can I take a PDF image and then convert that into a searchable document very effectively, whatever be the language. Or these are all the things that you could think about. Or you can create an app which you can point your camera to a big inscription on a temple, and then it will tell you what that is written in Devanagari or Tamil or Telugu, whatever script. It will tell you what that is telling you. So these are the kind of things that you can think about. The possibilities are immense. You're basically limited by your imaginations. So that's, and I would like, Anuradha-ji, do you want to say something on this, please?
Yes, Namaste. Thank you, Murthy-ji. That was also one thing. Other small things that we would encourage students to do is to also try and make short documentary films, but high quality documentary films on different areas of our culture. So even that kind of a documentation is very, very valuable. And especially we would encourage you to create content that would be accessible and that would be enjoyable for your peers, especially because the idea is to transfer this knowledge or to the next generations, to get them excited about the civilizational heritage that they are getting. So this is one important aspect that we would like the students to be thinking about, or all our interns to think along. Alternatively, we also have the idea of digitization of books. So if you are in the vicinity of libraries and there are these ancient texts or even rare books that need to be digitized and made available, please connect with experts who are working on those areas. The idea really behind this internship is that there is a lot of work that is waiting to be done. These are 2 months. For us, it's like a pilot initiative to see what kind of response we get, what are the different areas that people are already working on and would like to take it further. And then we would also like to say that, in order, if you were given the task to try and make these things possible, let's say if an expert is there, so if an expert is listening to us and you wanted to do this work, but there was a crunch of resources, the time shortage, then please identify students, identify people who can assist you with this work so that the work is hastened and we can create a huge repository. The request is also, of course, that there has to be a very concrete deliverable at the end of these 2 months. So that deliverable component is very, very important because the initiative is very authentic. The initiative is very authentic, and it is important for you to find something that is very concrete at the end of it that will add to the existing repository of IKS that we will then put up on our website also. So please collaborate, because this is a call, this is a nationwide call, international call for collaboration to bring back or to highlight all those contributions that have been made. And as Murthy-ji had said, there are many things that were there earlier on. And Professor Sahasrabuddhe-ji also was saying, it's not that they're ancient and past. They have a lot of relevance for the present and also for the future. Because we are talking about sustainability. There are so many practices that are there, indigenous practices, that are extremely sustainable. There are just lifestyle practices, there are health related knowledge traditions. So, can we document all of this, create awareness about them, and then see how we can disseminate all of that? So, I think that your participation, and especially if the younger generation gets actively involved, what we have found with our interactions with various groups is that there is a lot of material to excite the young minds. If you're looking for adventure in terms of knowledge traditions that have that we have inherited, there is a lot that you can do very original research work on. And it's not just the Sanskritic tradition, it's across all regional language traditions, written and oral. So we are not only limited to the written traditions, but also the oral traditions, just those traditions that are passed on through experimentation, ground reality, etc. So please, light your creative bulb and connect. The idea is also to make these to reduce these intergenerational gaps between those experts who really know and the younger generation that has different aspirations. And we'd like to see if we can align those, merge those, so that what you aspire for, what you look for, can be enhanced, and you are able to contribute with a great sense of awareness of what is our own traditional heritage, really. Yes, Murthy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anuragji. I'd like to open up
Question.
the floor for, yeah, Anuragji.
Yeah, the question is there any way we could be relieved for 2 years on deputation for research work of second initiative? Dr. Prashant Sharma is
Okay.
writing, I'm presently affiliated to Government Institute AICT Diploma Program in Maharashtra.
Okay, that's not really our call to make. That will be something that the institution can do. But definitely, I mean, applying for a research proposal is something that we would encourage. So as with everything, I mean, we have all this information posted online, and our team COIKS, I mean, IKS team is already available anytime to reach. You can reach us by email, phone, or I mean, yeah, you can reach us by email or phone, and then you know all of us now. So Anurag ji, Shreyas ji, Sanjeev ji, Anuradha ji, and myself, Murthy. So we are all here to help you out. We are just the coordinators, as Anuradha ji was saying. We are the people who will help you out, but really the work has to be done by you all. And we are here to facilitate in any way possible. And one of the big things that we want to emphasize is that the traditions, the things that Indian knowledge systems includes both oral traditions and the more, I mean, the academic type of written traditions, manuscript, shastras, and also the oral traditions. So oral traditions are also important. So we are very important for us, and we are not just limiting all these initiatives to only to the science and technology and things like that, but we are looking into all aspects of things. And as you saw, probably those 20 areas, they cover almost everything under the sun, and that is the nature of IKS, and that is what we are interested in too. And we hope you are all interested. So anything that interests you, you probably, as they say, there is an app for that. There should be a focus area for that in IKS. So you'll find something that will interest you all. So with those things, again, I would like to say thanks to all of our from our team. That thank you for all to you all for coming, and from this wonderful team of IKS, Anurag ji, Shreyas ji, Sanjeev ji, and Anuradha ji would like to take leave of you all, and will finish up with a Shanti Mantra. So Shreyas ji, do you want to?
हरिः ॐ संसमिद्योवसे वृषन्यग्ने विश्वान्यर्य इळस्पदे समिध्यसे सन्नो वसु भरा संकल्पं समवदनं समाजानां देवाग्निपूर्वे सञ्जानमुपरि समानेन हविषा जुहोमि समानि समाना शांति।
सर्वेभ्यो नमो नमः। सभी को हम लोग की तरफ से नमस्कार। फिर मिलेंगे